welcome back to part 3 of the K1 visa process. This is the period in which NVC has approved your case and they are sending it to the embassy. So at this point, you should have already sent your packet for the I-129F to your fiance through whatever means necessary by mail. We used DHL, and we were able to get the package there within a week. Once NVC has begun to make movement on your case, you should receive a notification that they've assigned it a case number. This should have the digits of where the case is being sent. In our case, it was Nairobi.
Yes.
This should be your indication for the fiance to begin working on the next things so that they're ready for their interview. So Viv, what are a few of those things that the fiance needs to do on ground while that package is getting sent?
And the following are the documents you should be preparing and collecting. 1, your birth certificate, an original birth certificate that is nationally recognized from your country. If you are in Uganda, you should get this from NIRA, which is the National Identification and Registration
Association?
I don't know.
Maybe.
You should get it from NIRA. 2, you're going to need police certificate.
It's best to get your police certificate as close to when you leave for your interview as possible because it's only valid, at least the one in Uganda, was for 6 months.
Clears you of any criminal records. And then 3, you're going to need to have vaccinations.
We'll list these required vaccinations out in the description of the video.
For the vaccinations, they're about 9 in number. So it would be good to have some of them done earlier in your country, and it should be a clinic that is recognized for giving the vaccines that are accepted by the US Embassy. You should do your research and know. You don't want to go for your medical interview and receive 9 injections on your arm and limp and cry and suffer for that one particular day. So be prepared.
Yeah, it's better to spread them out because the expense is high.
Yes.
And it's easier on the fiance instead of getting all those vaccinations in one day. Another thing the foreign fiance is going to want to have is some extra passport photos to bring to the interview. So by the time your fiance has prepared those 3 items, they've gotten their vaccines, they have their police certificate, and their nationally recognized birth certificate, it's best to then get ready to book an appointment for the interview. There's a specific website that we're linking for the Nairobi interviews that you can book appointments at. The thing with this website is that you have to constantly check because people are competing for different interview times. So it's best to have you and your fiance constantly checking and immediately book.
Yes.
The thing with this website at the time was that the first time we booked, we paid our visa interview fee and then we had to book again. It didn't book us right away.
Yes.
So be sure to watch out for that.
For someone who is about to ask how these payments are done, now if you are in Uganda, you should look for a mobile money agent who deals with M-Pesa, who is well versed with payments of visa application fees, unless if you're paying through a bank that you're sure that actually accepts payment for the visa process. The embassy actually emailed me back to show that they had received my payment.
And for those of you who don't already know at this point, Wave is a great app to be able to send money abroad to your foreign fiance or friends or whatever. It has great transaction rates and it will help you through processes like this where you need to be paying fees and all of that. Once you have the interview booked, then you can move on to emailing the Nairobi medical for scheduling your medical exam. We recommend, and what it was recommended to us was to give it a little bit of time between your medical exam and the interview.
So what happened is that for my case, I had to travel from Uganda to Kenya for this, and I didn't want to travel twice. I scheduled my medical examination a week before the visa interview itself.
Once we had the medical exam and the visa interview booked, we booked a flight for Vivian to Kenya. We did a one-way flight. We wanted to be able to give it time for her to finish the interview. We didn't know how long mailing was going to
Yes.
take and all that. The rest of the process was a lot of waiting, so we kind of anticipated it was going to be the same.
And people's cases differ, and you do not know if you're going to get your visa approved in that particular day. So
Exactly, and you might have delays with medical.
Yes.
You don't know what other examinations that they may need for your
Yes.
particular case.
Yes.
So it's good to space things out in anticipation that there will be delays and
Yes.
hope that there's not going to be delays. So that way you're not wasting, if you do a one-way ticket on a flight, you're not wasting money on a round trip
time, yes.
and time. Once the foreign fiance is finally where they have their interview done,
It is very intense. You're not going to walk in there and pretend that things are okay. No. A lot of questions that are going to be asked relate to your relationship, how well you know your partner, because they want to make sure that you're the right person they're interviewing.
Viv ended up being in Kenya for her medical and interview from August 15th to September 8th. She received her visa on September 2nd
Yay.
by mail
Through DHL.
Overall, it was a process that worked out very well for both of us, though there were kind of stressful situations,
Yes.
but it all panned out fairly well. And Viv made it home, visa in hand, back to
One
Uganda.
Thing done, yes.
And we celebrated. We were so happy at that point. And we wish the same for you, all the successes, all the good things to come. And we hope all of your interviews and travels go well.
In our next video, I would like to share with you my visa interview, the details of the interview, a couple of questions, and how you should be prepared to answer them.
And a little bit more detail on medical and just the finer details there.
That you need to know before you go for that.
Yes, so stay tuned and see you in our next video.
Bye. Yeah.
Nice smack.